Hey Ben, how's it going? Doing all right? Listen, I think we should talk. I know you've been having a rough go with this whole Batman thing. I mean, sure, it sounded like a dream job in the beginning, but clearly that's not the way this went down. You're upset, and dare I say, you're looking for a way out. And you know what? I don't blame you. You should be set free. This isn't really Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck does not want to be Batman anymore. This has been made very clear ever since Batman vs. Superman came out, and it's about time Warner Brothers admitted this and just released him from his contract. Now, no, there hasn't been an official statement from either party on the matter. Warner Brothers has been silent on it for obvious reasons, and Ben Affleck continues to tap dance around it whenever he's asked about it in interviews. And I'm not usually one to believe rumors like this, but at this point, with all the information that's out there, it's kinda hard not to believe it. And I don't blame him. He hasn't exactly had an easy tenure to begin with. From the moment it was announced that Academy Award winner Ben Affleck was going to play Batman, he was met with near universal outrage.
I saw the announcement, I look on this thing, I look down the first comment, it's like, Ben Affleck's gonna be Batman. The first one just goes, no!
And of course, when the movie finally did come out, it had a lot of problems. But Ben Affleck was not one of them. His performance got good reviews, and even his detractors have admitted that he was one of the best things about that movie. Even me, somebody who doesn't like Batman vs. Superman, can admit that Ben Affleck wasn't that bad, and given the right material, he could even be a great Batman, one of the greatest. But almost as soon as the movie came out and right when all the negative reviews were being released, it was very clear that this was something Ben Affleck didn't want to do anymore.
I just wondered whether how that makes you guys feel and whether it will even affect the film as such.
Well, the interesting thing is that
Hello, darkness, my old friend. You have to understand, this is a man who spent years trying to rebuild his reputation, not just in Hollywood, but in the public eye. And he finally did it with hit after hit after hit. After years of one awful movie after another, he finally hit a good stride, directing films like Gone Baby Gone, The Town, and Argo, all to critical acclaim. Even movies like Hollywoodland and Gone Girl, two films he didn't direct but acted in and got a lot of good reviews for his acting. But then Batman vs. Superman comes out and it's 2003 all over again. Maybe things would be different if Ben Affleck was able to go off and do other films, but he really hasn't been able to. Sure, The Accountant and Live by Night came out after Batman vs. Superman, but they really didn't set the world on fire. Right after Batman vs. Superman was released, he immediately had to go into filming Justice League, a move that many attribute to the reason why Live by Night was such a failure. Between the backlash of BVS, the production woes of Justice League, and I guess his divorce, he wasn't able to put a lot of time into a film that he wanted to make to begin with, a film he took 2 years to try and get finished. That can't be a good feeling. It can't be good to think you're entering into something great only for it to turn out to be a disaster and affect your other work as well. Especially when you're not only locked into a multi-picture contract, but when you're also supposed to be the figurehead and lead of this entire franchise. And I'm sure it didn't help that Warner Brothers eventually took away one of the most enticing aspects of this whole venture. Ben Affleck was promised his own Batman solo feature, one that he would not only star in, but direct himself and write himself, with the help of Jeff Johns, of course. He'd be able to do his own movie, whatever he wants to do with Batman, separate from the Zack Snyder machine. And this is Academy Award-winning filmmaker Ben Affleck doing a Batman movie. What could possibly go wrong? Well, something must have gone wrong because it was announced he would no longer be writing or directing the solo Batman movie, the one thing it seemed like he really wanted to do. Instead, Matt Reeves will be handling the creative duties, which is just perfect. I mean, you guys saw the last two Planet of the Apes movies, right? This guy's got chops, but that had to hurt. Constant restructuring like that, bad press, a grueling schedule, that can take its toll on somebody. It's no wonder his own brother so nonchalantly said he's not doing this anymore.
But he's not going to do that movie, I don't think.
Breaking news.
You've broken. You broke my heart.
Is that breaking news? I was just kind of making that up.
I will take it. I heard it from Casey Affleck.
Things became even more apparent once Justice League came out. In the movie itself, you can tell He does not want to be there. From scene to scene, he goes from being tired to being very bored, just coasting on the most basic level of acting sometimes. I don't even really want to get into how he looked in the fight scenes. It looked like an old wrestler trying to hang with the Young Bucks. And in the interviews he gave while promoting the film, it's clear he does not have even a fraction of the enthusiasm that Ezra Miller or Ray Fisher or Gal Gadot have. The rumor for the longest time had been that Matt Reeves wants Jake Gyllenhaal to take over the role of Batman if Ben Affleck ultimately decides to leave. The rumor now is that Ben Affleck has one more film in him, either Flashpoint or Suicide Squad 2, and then Jake Gyllenhaal is going to step in. He's ready to go at a moment's notice. Which, sure, whatever. I'm fine with that. I like Donnie Darko as an actor, but at this point, I don't care who plays Batman. Just let Ben Affleck go. The only thing worse than a bad Batman actor is a Batman actor who clearly does not want to be there. And the more we hear from behind the scenes news or in interviews or even seeing in his own performance, it's clear that whatever spark he had that excited him about being Batman to begin with just isn't there anymore. This isn't like the time when Daniel Craig said he would slit his wrist if he had to play James Bond again. That was a one-off incident that clearly didn't affect his work in the film and never affected his work outside of James Bond. Ben Affleck wanting out is constantly in the news and constantly being brought up when people mention the DC Cinematic Universe. That can't be a coincidence. And you know what? I say just release him from his contract early. I don't know how you would go about doing that, but you got smart lawyers, Warner Brothers, figure it out. Warner Brothers needs to revamp their entire DC universe anyway, and what better way to do that than to get a brand new Batman? And don't wait for a Flashpoint movie or a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie or whatever to reboot everything. Just do it. Nobody would mind. It's definitely going to suck for the short term. Absolutely. Warner Brothers is going to lose their biggest asset. Ben Affleck is going to lose out on being part of a mega franchise, and fans of Batfleck are going to lose Batfleck. But long term, we're going to be left with a studio who's happy they don't have to deal with an unhappy talent anymore, an actor-director who's happy he doesn't have to be part of a sinking ship anymore, and a fan base who, let's be real, are never happy because that's just how they are. But at least they'll have somebody who wants to be there, somebody who's excited to be Batman, and hopefully that excitement will show in their performance. At least at first. Now, what do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you want Ben Affleck to stay on as Batman, or would you be happy with him leaving the role? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. Repping my director's cut DVD of the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. That is still probably his best superhero performance. Don't at me. Of course, new videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. All of those premiering on twitch.tv/wolfden at 10 a.m. They will, of course, go up on YouTube shortly thereafter for all your VOD pleasure. And every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, Wolf Den Live. So make sure you subscribe to see all of that. Like this video and share it with a friend who didn't know that Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman anymore. I know. Who doesn't want to be Batman? Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.